Right, so we're going to play with your craft box number 2. So we're going to make a sort of shadow box, come light box. So my first die in my collection I've got taped down. So this here is a 15 by 15 square. Okay, I'm going to tape it down, make sure it's central on there, and I'm just going to tape that one down. We're going to run that one through. So that's going to cut the detail into our card front and keep it in there. So all the way through, all the way out. And what we're going to end up with, nice mess. So we're going to take that away. And what we're going to end up with, if I put that onto the white plate, you'll be able to see it a lot better. You've got all that detail in there going all the way around. But I want to take that centre panel out as well. So let's take it down a size. Let's take the next die. So this is the next die down, and this is going to give you the aperture. So let's place that onto there. Just make sure that we're central. And we're going to take that and run that through. So all the way through now. So this is going to be the beginning of our window. So all the way through. Take that centre out. And now we've got that lovely aperture going all the way around. So before we go any further, I want to stamp all the corners. So let's take all that away. And let's bring in the embossing powders and everything else. Okay, so we've got one of the corner stamps that's in your collection. We've also got the clear mark, so we're going to stamp it. So let's just get the dust bag and just go round. We'll do that top corner first. And let's ink this up. Okay, so nice on there. Now I am going to stand up for this because I like to stamp. So let's get our corner in. And we're just going to make sure we're in all the corners. So you can see now that that's going to fit in all those 4 corners. Let's take something that we can just put the embossing powder on with. Give it a tap, and then we're going to heat emboss that. So I'll do it towards you so you can see it. So we're just going to go down, and there it is, starting to change. So just carry on, making sure that you get all those edges. Now, if you want let me turn this off. If you want a smooth finish like that one is, heat from the bottom because it melts the embossing powder up and gives you a smoother finish. If you heat it from the top, you'll get more of a mottled effect, so that's entirely up to you. So what I've done is I've already done my corners. So I've already gone through and I've done all 4 corners. I don't know whether you'll be able to pick up on camera, but I've actually gone in on all those corners with the alcohol pens and made it a little bit darker in those segments. Okay, so let's get rid of this powder. So now this is another 15 by 15 and we're going to place it over the top there and die cut underneath. So what I like to do is I like to take my glue first of all, and I'm going to stick it on the top. Now this is dependent on your machine quality, okay, because some machines are not going to cut through 2 sheets of card, other machines will. Okay, now I have confidence in my Tommy because my Tommy's a good boy and he never lets me down. So we've got that on there, and we're now going to take that same outside edge, let's get rid of those bits, and I'm going to put that die back in. So you'll be able to feel it slot in, okay? So once it's slot in, I'm going to tape it at the top and the bottom because we do not want this one to move. So make sure that's locked in there and take that one down. So let's bring these mats back in. Let's clean it up so we don't get bits all over the place. And take the top plate and we're going to cut that one out. So this really is now starting to build up that front of the box. It could be a card front if you want it to be a card front. But here we go. So when I take that away, just ease it off very gently, because you don't want to pull any of that die cut up on that side as well. So now we have got that perfect aperture going all the way around. Okay, now I do want a second tier, so same again, 15 by 15. I'm going to put those together, and this time I'm coming in, clean your dies, does help, but coming in with the next size. Okay, so let's take some more tape and we can come into that aperture. So make sure it's all level, and we're going to come in to there. So take that top away now and die cut that one. So let's run that through. Now don't get rid of this centre panel, okay, because we're going to use that in a minute. That's all the way through. So when we take this one away, you can see that we've got that beautiful design in there, but once again I want to go through the window. It's like the old-fashioned children's programmes, isn't it? Through the window. So let's take the next one, and we can cut that one out as well. So that one's going to go onto there. So just centralise it and cut that one. So let's run that one through. So all the way through. So this is now going to sit underneath. So here we go. So now that one is going to sit perfectly with inside there, but I want a little bit of depth. So let's put some 3D foam onto the back of there as well. So we're just going to go round. You may want to do it on a roll, the 3D foam on a roll. So let's take those off. So this is going to actually use those little battery powered tea lights in there as well. So let's take this. Last couple coming up now. So come on, there we go. So just make sure you've got it level all the way around and drop it down. As you can see now, you're starting to get the depth within there. But now we need a box for the candles to actually stand in. So and I just put that to one side. So this is where your 12 by 12 Craft Perfect is going to come in. So this is a full size sheet of Craft Perfect, but you actually need to cut it down to 11 inches. Okay, so let's get our guillotine. And we're going to cut this down to 11-inch square now. So let's go in there. So 11-inch that way and 11-inch that way. Let's get rid of all those. I like all this extra space, I have to say, it's brilliant. Loads of space. So taking your scoreboard then. So what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to butt it into the inches. So we're going to come in from this side. So we're going to go 1/2 inch down, and then we're going to come 2 inches across. So 2 inches across, coming to 2.5. And we're going to do that on all 4 sides. So carry on working. Oh, whoops, missed my edge. There we go. Come on. And that one there as well. So what I've actually done, so you can see it better on camera, is I've actually done this one on a darker sheet, but the actual one I'm going to use I've done on a cherry pink, so that you'll be able to see the bits that I cut away. So that is what you've got so far. And this here, if I place it over the top, can you see the bits that I've actually cut away? So I've cut away all those corner bits there, and then I've come in and cut these edges so that they all fold up into the alternate way. So very much like a fan. So that one folds in, that one folds up, across, down. Okay, so you can see from that the bits to take away and the ways to actually fold all your tabs. So this is going to be the start of the box. So just reinforce all these other score lines. So just carry on working all the way around. So what you're going to do now is bring your little bits in and just glue that top section. So let's use this one. This will take a little bit longer, but you'll see where we're going. So that one in, and that one's going to stick it over the top of there. So let's try and do two sides at the same time. So bring it in so it's nice and butt tight in those corners. We're just going to hold it for a minute. So let's turn it round, fold your edges in, and then this one is going to go over the top again. So adhesive onto those corners, and then fold that one in and just hold it so that it's nice and tight on those corners there. Okay, so when that is stuck down, that is going to be our shadow box that's going to go behind, because that's going to give us that 15 by 15 central point to be able to put that matten layer over the top perfectly. But we want a bongy bit in the middle. Okay, so let's do our bongy bit in the middle using that die cut that we had come out. So I've left it in the die there, so you can see it is the waste that comes out. We're going to make that into the bongy bit. So take the detail die and we're going to die cut that. So let's just stick that down there and run that through the machine. So you'll note at this point I have not stuck the front on that box, and there's a reason, because I want to be able to put my bongy bit in before I stick the front on. So that is that little die cut that's going to go into the centre. Now I want a little panel that's going to go into the middle. So remember that one that we cut out of the front? That is going to be the piece of card that we're going to die cut the front out of. So let's cut that one out. Now has anybody got our mini moments, our mini Christmas moments? Because we're going to use those as well. Because that Christmas mini moment fits perfectly into that little aperture. So one already cut out, you can see that it's going to fit in there perfectly. So let's take some glue, a glue spreader, and stick that one inside there, and that's going to go onto here with a few little sticky buds. So there and there. Let's take the backs off, stick that one into there. Now to form my bongy bit, this is just a strip of card, okay, and what I do is I literally fold it about an inch. So I'm literally just folding it over on itself, open it back out, and then we're just going to cut so we've got a square. Okay, so we're not going to cut because I've not got scissors, so let's tear it. So let's just place that one over the top of there and just hold it shut. Okay, so rather than it being on a spring, it's actually there so I can fold that centre panel flat so that I can put tea lights in or take the tea lights out. Okay, so this is going to go onto that panel there, and we're just going to stick that down. So the shadow box that we've actually made is 2 inch deep. My bongy bit is only 1 inch deep, so it's going to have a recess, okay, because then the tea lights will throw a shadow onto your backboard when it's dark. So let's bring that shadow box back in. So that's the shadow box. My design is in the centre, so I know this now needs to go into the centre. So take my adhesive, and this is going to go into the centre of that box. Okay, so at the moment you can see it's just in the middle there. I'm not going to press it very hard because obviously we're using wet glue instead of hot glue. Stay put. Then let's take the panel, we can just put all the adhesive onto there and then stick that onto your shadow box. Okay, we'll just hold it for a minute or so. So you can see now that you've got some depth going on inside there. Okay, so did you get your craft kit number 1? Because if you got craft kit number 1, you also got a sample of the glaze as well. So with the glaze, what I'm going to do is, see all the scrolls on there? I want to highlight them. So I'm literally using it as a little pen, and I'm just coming in and filling all the detail on those stamped designs. Now it's easy to follow because you've got all the raised area of the embossing powder. So I'm just coming in and going round there. So it just highlights and gives a real good shine. Okay, so rather than touch that one I made earlier, so you can see now that that glaze is giving you a really nice effect on the outside. When this is stuck, you can actually fold it down to be able to put your little battery powered light. So fold it down and they will just sit into the bottom there, and then you can just bring your spingy back down, and when that's dark, the candles are going to shine up the back, but going to shine through the front of the design as well. So you've got a little tea light, little Christmas light, you decide. I hope you have fun. Bye.